I don't remember asking him to do that.
Okay, thank you.
I don't.
Leave us out of this. Leave us out of this conversation. Today,
Ryan.
Virgo Season!
And we're back at it. How you
hey,
doing?
I'm good. You know what? No, I'm not good. You know why I'm not good? Because somebody called me Freddie Jackson in the comments
Oh
on
my
last week's
God.
video, and that kind of hurt my feelings. I
Girl, you
couldn't
got it.
be Jermaine, Tito. Freddie ain't even a part of the Jackson family, like not the real Jackson family.
You
At
gotta
least let
stay
me
out
be
of the
related.
you
I
gotta stay
know
out of the comments. It's growing. I'm not even
it
gonna
is
lie.
growing.
I'm pretty excited about it. A lot more people are seeing us now that we're over here on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for following us over here. And for the new people, thank you and welcome. Jade,
Yes,
I
sir.
came to a realization this week. We've been doing this for a good amount of time, but like I'm done. I'm not chasing numbers anymore. I'm not doing any of that. Like this is all about like having fun with my friend and that's it. Until it's not that anymore, I'm going to continue to do this, but I'm not going to give myself the same anxiety.
I told y'all. I don't know if you saw the video that I posted where I said Delulu is the Salulu. I am living in my delusions right now. Okay, so
Right.
I'm delusional enough. I'm not even worried about them. In my mind,
Yeah.
the numbers are already there. You know what I mean? Like
I
I'm
mean,
not
it's
even
going to
worried about
come.
it.
It's
It's
going to
just
come.
consistency for me. Like
That's
the
right.
numbers are there. So I am delusional enough to think that we're on par with the ones that everybody's already found and is watching in the thousands. Our
Right.
numbers are just skewed right now because there's a glitch in YouTube, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm with you
Yeah.
on that.
What did that for me was that I know people come here every week for the levity. And yes, we are here to entertain. This is what we're doing. But someone was like, you guys really have helped me through a crazy time. And that really touched me. I was like, man, we're not just doing this for shits and gigs, as they say. See what I did there? But
I did.
we are actually affecting people. So I got to be more mindful of that in the future. And, I'm pretty excited to see where this is going to go and what we can do with this platform.
I agree. When I saw that comment, it touched me in the feels. Like I'm not even gonna hold you. I got a little emotional because
Yeah.
I I think one of the things that we always do is we don't take ourselves seriously, right? Like
Right.
we're doing this for fun. Like we just enjoy having conversations with each other. And we
Right.
dead
Right.
ass was just like, let's just do this.
Right.
And that's what we've done. And I like the fact that when we started out with this podcast, we said that our goal was to make it seem like friends were having conversations with each other that they could just join in on. So when
Correct.
someone says something like, you guys have helped me through whatever, I feel like that helped us accomplish that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because
Right.
that's what
Right.
friends are supposed to do. Like we're supposed to
Yeah.
help you through these types of things. And
Yeah.
I also love the fact that randomly we do get those little moments of like, I've been listening to you guys. I randomly found you, love it. And it's dope.
Man.
Like it's a
Yeah.
dope feeling. It's totally a
Yeah.
dope feeling.
Yeah. I'm feeling really good this week. I just actually had a doctor's appointment as well, follow up from my annual checkup.
Mhm.
And my doctor was like, man, you're the best patient that I've had all week. Like, this is amazing. Like, you've actually listened to what I told you to do, and things are actually working. I'm down 30 pounds without a shot. Like, I'm living
Not
on
you.
cloud
First of
nine,
all,
cloud
the
nine
fact that
today.
you really getting skinny on me, I'm not appreciating this, okay? Because that means that I gotta get skinny because you can't be the Zoolander and I'm just out here being the nutty professor.
Zoolander.
You know what I mean? Like it can't, like it's just not gonna
I was really
optics
going for
wise.
Tyson, but like, I mean, I
I
get
mean,
that
you
the
could do
Zoolander is
okay,
coming through. I
fine,
get Zoolander's
fine.
coming through, but I'm working on it.
You're not about to be Tyson, and I'm not about to be the nutty professor on this podcast. You know what I mean? Like, so now I
Nah,
got to
not
be in
at
the
all.
gym working out and making sure that my vibe matches your vibe. So we not the odd
It's more
duo.
about feeling good. I have
No,
young
it's true.
kids. I want to be able to run around with them. I want to be able to not be like, dad's tired or
No,
anything
I
like
feel
that. I
you.
want to be able to do all the things. So that's what I'm on this year.
No, it's true because I've definitely been hitting the treadmill weekly now. And
Hmm.
your girl's seeing a little bit of games and a little bit of
Listen,
places, and I'm
listen.
like,
the
then
more
y'all see
people,
me naked outside this summer. You didn't see me, okay?
the more people find us, I'm pretty sure they're gonna invite us out this summer. So I'm gonna be ready. I'm gonna be
Okay,
ready.
well,
I'm just
since you
saying.
said that, let me reiterate my rules because Ryan's rules are not the same as my rules. Okay. I need at least 3 weeks' notice and then a 72-hour reminder. And then the day of, I need an early morning reminder because
Ah,
I will not show up. I will
yes,
not show up.
I will send you the Google invite. I will.
Okay, perfect.
Boom.
Make sure there's reminders attached to that, because the way my introvertedness is set up, you
Right.
won't see me.
Yeah.
You
I
won't see
mean,
me.
I think this show has helped me a lot with a lot of that. As you can see, I'm wearing color again. Last week it was a hit. Like they was all up in my DMs. I was all black everything before this, living in my emo phase without actually realizing it. So I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready to be outside. I'm ready to be on a scooter with the children. All sorts of things that I
Oh,
don't
look at
normally do.
you.
So here we are.
I love that we're Virgos, but we're so different because I am always going to be ready for a nap. And that's all that I'm always looking forward to, is taking a nice nap. I don't care what's going on outside. Give me
Right.
a good nap. And
Yeah.
I'm good to go. Before we get started on this week's episode,
Hmm.
I did not know that
What?
Orlando Brown had a hive.
Yo.
Okay. And I need y'all to please be so fucking for real.
Be
Okay?
for real.
Please be for real.
Yeah.
We don't know what his mental state is, but that
Right.
man is not all there. Y'all was telling us he's speaking in codes. If
He's
nobody
speaking the truth.
understands, if
Why y'all
nobody
trying to silence
understands the
him?
codes, who is he talking to?
I'm
If no one
listen,
understands the
listen.
code, who is he talking to? And I
This is
hate this
questions.
phrase,
Questions that need answers.
if you know, you know, because y'all don't know.
And I
Y'all
don't either.
pretend like y'all know, but y'all don't know. So let's stop. Let's
Mm,
stop. First of all, we were not trying to silence Orlando Brown. We were
at
telling
all.
other podcasts to stop
To silence
exploiting him.
themselves.
They
Yes,
are
correct.
exploiting him. Okay.
Correct.
Then somebody said something about, do we want him to be silenced like Cat Williams? Did nobody silence Cat Williams?
At
And
all.
nobody said Cat Williams was lying. Everybody pulled out receipts. I have yet to see an Orlando Brown receipt. Matter of fact, I need somebody to explain to me, since he's speaking in codes, what bop 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 boom deep means when he was talking about Raven Simone. Since he's speaking in codes and we don't know, I need you to break that down for
Right.
me in
Right.
totality. Okay, when he
Right.
said he started the Illuminati, something that
Hmm.
started way before he was born, let me know, please.
He's Jesus.
He needs help. And y'all are not doing him any favors by acting like he doesn't. And I had to get that off my chest. It's not an Orlando Brown slander. I want the best for
Mm,
him. If you love him like y'all say y'all do, you should want the best for him. Tell these podcasts to stop exploiting that man. They are exploiting him. And you are
that's right.
exploiting him for your own sicknesses, because y'all sound crazy. Okay? Thank you.
Oh man, I'm kind of loving YouTube. I'm not gonna lie. People are way more engaged over here. So
Oh, yeah, no, they are.
I'm interested.
Telling me, like, it was just, listen, because I didn't think we said anything wrong about Orlando,
I
but
didn't think so.
I thought we were being kind and gentle and being great brother, sister, auntie, uncles to
Y-
him, and
Yeah.
saying to these podcasts, leave that man alone, because he is not in the right space for y'all to be exploited. Y'all are making money off of him and he's seeing none of it.
Yeah. I think the comments were pretty even. I think just as many crazy comments we got. I think we also got people like, "Yo, I'm with y'all." I
Yeah,
listen
no,
for real.
it was definitely even, but you see
Hmm.
so much of it. Like, every time something happens, it drives me crazy, y'all. It does.
Right.
If there's a big conspiracy going on where they're trying to keep things from us, they are failing miserably because you know about it.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
so if you know about it, what was the point of them trying to keep it from you? And if everybody knows about it, what was the point? Like, it just common sense. Like, let's be for
Yeah.
real.
All right. I'm off that.
Okay. I'm off that
What you
too. I
got?
just had to say that. It's not a lot of celebrities who've been doing a whole bunch of mess this week, which thank
Good.
goodness. But
Good.
us regular folk are out here doing the absolute most. And I need us to, like, I don't know if we got to put the world in rice and start over. I don't know what the solution is, but there's a
Did that
lot
ever work for you?
happening.
Did that ever
It
work for
did
you?
actually. One time it did work for me. One time it did work for me. And I did the whole 24 hours of putting my phone in rice. This was before the
Mm.
iPhone became like, you could just throw it in water for a little bit and it'd be like, oh, we good.
I mean, you could throw it
I
off
did the
of
rice,
planes from 16,000
apparently,
feet and,
and it survived. So I think we've said this before on previous episodes on the audio version of this, where social media is doing the absolute most to some of y'all's mental health, and not in a good way.
Right.
Because why would you get on social media and dry snitch on yourself on something that, if no one knew, would probably be an ideal situation? So what I'm
What
talking
happened?
about is there's a gentleman named Leland Brown Jr. who went viral a couple of weeks ago because he and his girlfriend are living in a or were living in a storage unit.
Mm,
Okay. They had a dope
mm,
setup. Like they had boxes covering them up to kind of hide themselves. Like their setup behind the boxes was like an apartment, like a little studio apartment. Okay. Day bed, mini fridge,
wow.
all of that. Could play music, all this great stuff. But he decided to get on social media, on TikTok, and let people know that, quote, I live in a storage unit because it's cheap in comparison to an apartment. Living here actually is really comfortable. I get a lot of things that I need and want to get done here. I can exercise, I can use the bathroom, I can play music anywhere in the unit. It's climate controlled in here, so it's nice and warm. This unit is 24 hours, so I can come here anytime, stay here as long as I need to. We can take naps if we need to. And then
Mm,
he gave like a tour of the space. There's a day bed. They had a love seat set up in their little living room area, a wardrobe, a bookshelf,
right.
all nice, you know.
Right.
Now, living in a storage unit is illegal. That's
Yeah.
first and foremost. It's an
Yeah.
insurance issue and it's against like a lot of housing laws, federal and state housing laws.
Where your windows,
Mostly,
man? Where your windows?
mostly for insurance purposes as well, right? Because God forbid that storage unit goes up in flames and they thinking it's just
It's just some
items,
material things, right?
and
Yeah.
then they find your body because you live in there. Like it's just not making sense.
Right.
He managed to rack up, I think, like 1.2 million followers on social media with this
Oh,
whole living in a
come
storage unit thing.
on. Come on.
Furthermore, went on to record himself. He has a job, right? Like him and his
Right.
girlfriend also have a baby. He has a job. He works in some fast food
Wait,
because
wait,
the
wait, wait,
baby.
wait, wait,
Yes,
wait.
yes, yes,
They
yes,
had the baby in the storage
yes.
facility.
Oh, yes, yes.
No.
So he worked at some sort of, I don't want to say it's a fast food restaurant, but some sort of restaurant. And
Okay.
I guess they would tell you to throw away food at the end of the day, like frozen waffles, sausages, and things like that. He went on to record himself putting these items in like recycle bags, wrapping them up good, putting them in a dumpster, but then coming back on camera being like, what I look like throwing away food. When you homeless, you got to get it by any means necessary.
But
Which, okay. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah.
continue because I have
Yeah.
some thoughts on all of this.
Ended up obviously getting caught because again, you post this on social media,
Mhm.
and what ends up happening, you get what? Fired.
Of course.
Okay.
Right.
Now, after they got kicked out of the storage unit, him and his girlfriend and the baby set up a tent somewhere in the woods. But then everyone had bad weather. So the wind and the snow knocked the little tent down. Someone
Oh
was
my
kind enough
gosh. Oh my
to
god.
buy them a new tent, but also put them in a Holiday Inn hotel for a couple of days to kind of help them.
Right.
Now, this is why I think he did all of this in the first place. And it wasn't because he was trying to do anything else. The long game was, let's let people see this situation. Hopefully it gets caught on. And what are we going to do? We're going to set up a GoFundMe. And what did
Oh,
he do?
no
They have a
way.
GoFundMe. They set up a
No
GoFundMe
way.
for $10,000 to secure a car and a roof over their heads.
Mm. Uh, is this the end of this the end
Yeah,
of the story? Because I have
yeah,
thoughts.
yeah,
So this type of stuff is going viral because I definitely saw a lady running a whole business out of a storage facility as well, where she has her whole setup, accounts payable, accounts receivable, like literally everything happening in the storage facility and posting it on TikTok. And I think she also was kicked out of the storage facility because that's also something that you cannot do in a storage facility. So I don't know. I guess dry snitching is the thing of now because if I was doing all of that stuff, like no way in hell nobody else would know. You ain't gonna mess up my little thing that I got going on. So anyway, next thing is it's really crazy to know what's going on out in the world. The fact that people can't afford to live,
yeah.
that they have to resort to something like this, even though this was partially, like you said, because he wanted to gain followers and start a GoFundMe, allegedly. I don't know, but all signs are pointing in this direction. So it's really crazy. I think I make pretty decent money and I'm looking at my expenses because, nothing but spreadsheets, balancing my budget
Listen,
and all of that type of stuff.
listen.
I'm just like, remember when they kept saying that you're supposed to keep your living expenses below 30%?
Oh yeah, no. Where they do that at?
Where they do that at? Remember when the dad went out to work? Mom
Mm-hmm.
stayed home and,
Mm-hmm.
tended to the house and the children, had a nice
Mm-hmm.
meal for the gentleman when he got home. And
Mm-hmm.
that person who was just going out and doing whatever he was doing, maybe he was working in a car factory or something like that, was able to pay the mortgage and everybody lived really nicely. They go on 1 or 2 vacations a year and, lived a nice middle class life. Where they do that at nowadays?
In our dreams,
I'm
because it's
just
not
trying to
happening
understand,
now.
like, what are we supposed to do? And then now we gotta sit here and we gotta worry about which one of those 2 old men are gonna win in November. Like, I just don't understand, like, what is happening in this world? Like, what are we supposed to
See,
do?
you
I did
laughed
all
at
the
me.
things. I did all the
You
things.
laughed at me when I said put it in rice. You see what I'm saying? But that's what we need to do. Put it in rice. We need everybody
Yeah,
need to be put it in rice
yeah,
and start all over. Because
yeah.
it's crazy. I'm not even gonna hold you. I also make a decent living, right? Like
Mhm.
I am always like, like I'm can support myself.
Right.
I'm not gonna hold you. I'm thinking about getting a couple of side hustles going because life is lifing, and these bills, even if my circumstances haven't changed bill wise, like I'm not doing anything in excess, for
Right.
some reason, these bills are billing extra hard. And
They
I'm trying to
billing
figure
extra
out
hard.
like
Groceries are up, gas is up, insurance
groceries
is
are
up,
up.
everything is up.
And it's crazy because when I first moved in, it's just me. I buy my groceries for the month. I don't do weekly grocery shopping because I don't have extra mouths to feed. I can
Mm,
just stick to my, you know what I mean? Like whatever it is, it is. I remember in 2020 when I moved into my apartment and I did
mhm,
my first round of grocery shopping for the month, my
mhm,
bill for groceries was about $120 for the
mhm.
month. Okay.
Right.
Today, I can't not get over $200 on groceries for the month, buying the exact same
Exact
items
same things, yeah.
that I bought
Yep.
in 2020.
Mhm.
Now it's different
And
if I was like, I threw some lobster tails in there and I'm out here buying Wagyu. It's the same thing.
right, right. Yeah. And
Bills
all
are
the same
billing.
stuff, all the same things, if you look closely, some of those things that was 20 ounces is 19 ounces. A lot of the things are less than you were getting before, even though it's the same
Yeah.
item and it costs more. So, I don't know. I don't know. Like
Like I
like
know
you said,
people like
put
to
it in
come for
rice,
the see, put it in rice.
not the good rice, the cheap one, the cheap
Just
rice.
put it whatever rice is gonna help us
Mhm.
reset. I just need this all to be reset in some way. Because I know people like to come for the OnlyFans girls and the sex workers and stuff. Listen, I feel like everybody is one paycheck away from doing something strange for a little bit of change because life is life right now for everybody.
Listen,
Okay, so
listen.
if you see
I
my
just
feet online, those aren't my feet. Okay, it's
I feel
AI.
bad for that baby though. I really
Yeah,
do.
no.
Because like if it was just 2 adults acting a fool and whatever they got going on, yeah, I feel bad for them. But y'all are adults, y'all can make different decisions and whatever. This child didn't ask to come into these sort of circumstances, and this is a rough life they live in. What is 10 grand about to do for these people? I don't understand.
Now that you say that too, something that I just remember that I saw is that, and it's not that they don't have money because I think they did a live, if I'm not
He
mistaken,
don't
where
got
they
no
basically
job
were
though.
like,
He don't got no
you don't got a
job.
job now, but at least it has something saved up and he works, right? So like if you were
Right.
working,
Right.
like it's just the math isn't math. So I feel like this was just to come up. And the reason I say that too is right after I saw that video, I saw another video where a man was on his phone and asked if there was anybody out there willing to co-sign on an apartment for him in Florida.
Oh man. What is
Not
life?
his family,
What is
not
life?
his friends, the general population
Wow.
can be
Wow.
co-signed. Does anybody willing to co-sign and they'll figure it all out?
He
If
probably
you
got
can't
somebody
afford,
too.
I wouldn't be surprised. And that person is stupid because if you can't afford to, if like the
Yeah.
math, like, come on, people. Like,
Yeah.
can we be for real for a moment? We're losing it. We're all losing it. We're all
Yeah.
losing it. And we got to
Yeah.
get it together. We got to get it together.
Yeah.
We're going to stay in the same vein of social media and
Okay.
people doing the most. It was a woman who moved from Florida to Houston to become a social media influencer and has since ended up homeless with her 3 kids.
No. why these people? Oh my god, Jade, this is not even like a joke. I literally come from being a freelancer in the entertainment industry, doing all the things. I had gotten married and I have 2 kids. I decided to make the responsible choice and get myself a real job. Not saying freelancing is not a real job, but like my checks don't miss
It's
every
not
single week.
consistent. You know,
It's
the
it's very
problem with,
consistent,
yeah,
very
that was I was
consistent.
gonna say.
I got insurance so that if my children get sick, they can go to the hospital and be just fine. You understand what I'm saying? So there's just certain things that you, like when you decide to bring other lives into this world, there's just certain things that you got to think about that's not living recklessly. Like
You gotta think
you got
beyond
3
yourself.
you got
Mhm,
3 kids
mhm.
and risked homelessness for social media? Are you
She didn't risk homelessness. She is homeless. So
uh,
Kiara Jones moved to Texas in the hopes of becoming a social media influencer because she said it's where all her favorite YouTubers are from. Okay.
nah,
She had no
nah,
transportation when she first got there, but
nah.
was able to rent a car to get to Houston because she received disability checks for one of her sons. She said she would move back to Florida to live with her mom only for the sake of her children. And she says, I quote, if I feel like I'm putting too much on them with me being stressed, then I would go back. She says she worked at a Denny's when she first moved to Houston and was able to afford a motel room, but it became too much after a while. Her and her kids checked into a warming center during the freeze that took place in Houston on January 16th after calling 911 to help them after temperatures dropped, making it no longer safe for her and her kids to be on the street.
Oh
Now,
my
the
god.
craziest part about all of this is she only has 17 followers.
No. Mm, mhm, mm. I mean, listen. You spoke about this earlier in the episode. You got to be delusional. You gotta
Not
step
that
out on faith and
that's
all of
not
that type of stuff.
that's
But
way too
this is
delusional.
dumb. Like
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
children. Also, when you
yeah.
was working at Denny's, where were these children? How old are these children? Questions. I
They
have
didn't
lots of questions.
say they didn't say how old the children were, but I'm going to assume that they're not that old. Because if they had a choice, if they were like teenagers or even preteens to be like, I'm not moving to Houston with you, I'm going to stay with
Stay
grandma.
with grandma. Yes, exactly.
So the fact that I think these kids didn't get a choice in saying anything, I don't even think I would say they're probably all under 10,
Oh
would be
my
my
god.
assumption.
Oh
But
my
let me
gosh.
go back to her quote. If I feel like I'm putting too much on them with being stressed, then I would go back. Sis, y'all are homeless. You have your kids out on the streets. It's too much for them. Go back to Florida. She got lucky because when she was in the warming center, one of the local news stations was doing a story on the warming centers, and the mayor was there. And she got to speak to the mayor. And I guess he put her in touch with someone that can help her in terms of securing possibly a home or at least a place to stay. How long that's going to last, I don't know. But the Lulu is the Salulu to a point. This
To a
not this
point.
this
Like,
not
come
the
on.
this not the solution. This is not the solution. Like your kids, no.
I'm really these first
Yeah.
2 I hope your next story is good because these 2 got me depressed. I'm just saying, like, what is wrong with these people? What is wrong with
um
these people?
Sometimes I really don't think everybody should be allowed to vote. It really shouldn't be a right for everybody because a lot of people just don't know what's going on. Waka
Mhm.
Flocka sent a text to Donald Trump asking him to abolish Christopher Columbus Day. First of all, Waka Flocka, he's not the president. Okay? He is not the president. I don't know where you've been for the
Oh
past
my
almost
gosh.
4 years, but
Right.
he's not the president, sir.
No.
So on Twitter, he basically said, Dear Trump, abolish Christopher Columbus Day as a what's called black man in United States. This holiday is a spit in our faces. Thanks from Waka Flocka Flame and the people. What people?
I don't remember asking him to do that.
Okay, thank you.
I don't.
Leave us out of this. Leave us out of this conversation. Now, do I think Christopher Columbus is a needed holiday? I don't. I personally
Yeah.
celebrate Indigenous People Day. If
Yeah.
I get the day off, that's what I'm celebrating.
Right,
But
right.
we didn't ask you to do this. And I need people to realize that Donald Trump has already chosen his side. Okay.
Right.
He cannot serve white supremacists, neo Nazis, and black people.
At the same, yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god.
He's already chosen the Nazis, y'all. Like, I know
Mm.
y'all want to think he's the man because he got a mugshot and all that other stuff that his people say. That's not me. It was his people say, because his people said for every Karen, there's a Jamal and somebody else that's willing to vote for Trump. So they already think y'all stupid. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I definitely have seen people that look like me on TikTok saying that they're gonna vote for this man because he gave them checks during the pandemic. Uh, I just like I'm so glad that y'all can see my face now because like sometimes there's no words, you know.
They really
Sometimes
aren't.
it's
But let's be for real. Waka, sir. Okay,
Mr. Flame,
no, Mr.
Mr. Flame.
Flame. The people didn't. There's so many other things we could be asking our political leaders for. Abolishing
Yeah,
Christopher Columbus Day is not
yeah.
high on that list of priorities. Okay,
How about a
okay,
living wage? You know.
that might be free healthcare. You
How
know,
about that free
you know,
therapy? How
free. You
about
know,
any of that stuff?
but
Reparations?
you,
Okay,
as a
okay.
so-called black man in America, is worried about Christopher Columbus Day, sir. Get So something funny has been going on social medias,
What's
and you
that?
actually sent this to us in the group chat. We are having a battle between millennials and Gen
Oh.
Z. Yeah.
Woo!
Now,
Okay.
Gen Z has been clowning millennials for a while now. Okay. They talk
Right.
about our clothes, skinny jeans are out, middle parts are out, da da da.
Mhm,
Da.
mhm.
Somebody said that Gen Z, for all their clowning on millennials, look like our peers or older than us. And what is going on?
Mm.
There's a lovely creator. I think his name is Jordan the Stallion.
Jordan the Stallion.
Jordan the Stallion had
Before you
the
do,
funniest.
let me just preface this.
Hmm.
I've been following this man for a long time.
Hmm.
He is one of the best creators on the internet. I love his content. He's so funny. He's so informative and so shady and petty. I love it. It's amazing.
I
Anyway.
see him. I don't follow him, but I see him. Like he comes across my timeline, and I do stop to watch, but I'm not engaged enough to actually hit the follow button. But my block list, I think at this point, is longer than the people that I follow. So if he's
Right.
not blocked, that's saying something.
Right.
He told the amazing story about how he oftentimes gets told that he is a millennial because he looks old. No shade to Jordan. I'm not gonna hold you, Jordan, sir, sweetie.
Woo!
You do look like you're up there. He went on to say things like his mom often gets confused for his younger sister. He also said that one time he stood outside and waited for The Rock and asked him for an autograph. He said, "Can I get an autograph for Jordan?" And The Rock was like, "Your son has an
You're
amazing father. I hope he knows that like you're the greatest." Jordan was basically like, "The Rock, though we were the same age, he is 52 years old." Now, what makes this even funnier is that when this video started circulating, The Rock went into Jordan's comments and remembered the situation. It was
What? I
basically
didn't I
like
missed this. Oh my god, I'm
The Rock was basically like, "Oh yeah, like ha ha ha, like yeah, you did look a little older."
Can you tell the people how old Jordan the Stallion is?
Jordan the Stallion is only 26
Half of The Rock's
and
age.
half of The Rock's age. And
A
he
good
listed a bunch of people who were older than him, like Zendaya and Tom Holland, who all look considerably younger than him. It was
Yo,
hilarious.
today, I shaved for y'all this week. I'm just saying. I get carded when I buy the liquor
Right.
at the store. I get carded at random places, at 7-Eleven, at all sorts of random places. I'm just saying it's
You
just
in
the
the
genes.
7-Eleven. I know you
I
told me to stop leaning, but I had to lean forward for this. You are a serial killer, but continue.
Okay, now that we have a larger audience, I'm just saying 7-Eleven is everywhere for a reason. They're very convenient. It's America's convenience store, and their coffee is not bad. And I'm not
Okay.
a star. I'm not paying for Starbucks coffee. So
Okay.
my next bet is 7-Eleven. I just told
Mhm.
y'all they charging me
Mhm.
more than 30% for my rent. Listen, I stand on business here.
Uh,
Okay, okay.
okay.
I'm
Think
all.
the serial killer would say, but continue.
Oh, now I don't even remember my damn point. What's wrong with you? Damn shit. But anyway, Jordan, his beard situation that he got going on. Like, if I could do that, I would. I'm just saying, it's
No,
very nice. It's
his beard
very
is
nice.
glorious. My
It's not doing
question,
him any favors, but it's nice. I'm just
but isn't it though? Because I fear that if Jordan cuts that beard off, we're not gonna like what we see under the beard, and then that's gonna start a whole nother thing. You know what I mean? Because it's like I don't think he's ugly, and I don't think he's gonna be ugly. But you know, you get so used to seeing someone
right,
with
right, right, right,
something, and
right,
if that man decides to cut that beard off or trim it down in order to try to make himself appear more youthful,
right.
we're not. It's not. No, that's not. Let's not do that. What this has also spurred is a whole argument between Gen Z and millennials. Gen Z is basically like, who said y'all look younger than us? And then millennials are responding like, look at me, I look younger than you. As someone who is 40 years old, and
Right.
I do think that I am aging gracefully. I don't think that I look like I'm in my 20s, but I do think that I'm aging gracefully. I
I
have
think
to
so.
tell some of y'all look just as old as y'all are. That's not to the Gen Zers; those are to the millennials telling these babies that they look younger than them. You don't.
Oh my gosh. So I was on the train the other day and I saw an ad campaign. I used to be a graphic designer for those that don't know. So I pay attention to a lot of ad campaigns and things like that. There's a skincare line or something called the Inkey list or something
Inky,
like that.
yes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So they have a whole ad campaign going on about like, oh, this is 36, this is 40, this is whatever, because apparently because of whatever they're using from Inkey, they look so flawless, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I saw one person that was like, this is whatever the age was, but it wasn't
Right.
that much older or younger than where I am. And then I saw, I think it was 40. This is 40. And then the other person was 36. And the third person that was 36 had the same amount of melanin as I have, right?
Mhm.
And this person definitely looked like they were 26. And the person that they were trying to say, oh, this is 40, look at what Inky can do, definitely looked 50. And I'm just, I'm just gonna say, it has nothing to do with millennials or Gen Z. I think it has to do with melanin and taking care of your
No,
skin,
this
drinking
is true.
water, things like that.
No, I agree. I'm just saying some of y'all, just like I told the Orlando Brown High, some of y'all really do need to be for real. Because I've seen a
Right.
couple on social where they're stitching these young girls who are like,
Hmm.
you look younger than who? And then they're like, you, and they don't look younger than those little girls. Like, if anything, they look up like, you know what I mean? And it's
Right.
like, let's just be
Right.
for real. Something else that I want to say about this is let these babies be babies. I remember there were times
Come
where
on.
I dressed much more mature than I was because I thought it made me look older. And the times was different, right?
Right.
So like
Right.
now
Right.
these kids have access to better fashion, makeup, all that stuff that I did not have access to.
Right. Right. Right.
So it's making them seem a little bit more mature, but you can look in these babies' eyes and know that these are babies. You know what I mean?
So,
Jordan is probably the one outlier because that man do look like he go home to his wife and 7 kids. I don't know what stress Jordan out in his life, but that's what that man looks like. But
listen, Gen Z is keeping me youthful. I don't care. I know there's like a whole war going on between the two generations, but I tell you all the time I got a Gen Z sister. It's like we speak in two different languages every time we hang out.
listen,
However, I laugh a lot when I'm hanging out with her. It definitely, like you said, I'm on my way to my fourth decade. Not there yet. Won't be there for a little bit. But
like, okay, Ryan,
they
rub
keep
it in.
me y'all keep me youthful. I enjoy y'all and I want no smoke. I'm just gonna say
First
that
of
right now. I
all,
want I want I want no smoke.
Gen Z is lethal. First of all, that's first. Let me get that out the
Come
way.
on.
But also, I'm happy that I have been able to say that I aged and that I've aged gracefully. But I also
Cause
think
come
a
on.
point I had to make a response video because I was tired of seeing these millennials who are my age
Right.
who do look older than even myself.
Right. Right.
I had to say something. And I think the problem is when we grew up, like when our parents were 40 and our aunts and uncles were 40, that just seemed so old. And
Right.
now that's us.
Tell me about
We're
it.
the adults. And it's like,
Yo, you know what's funny? I definitely thought that okay, so one of my aunts, she's 11 years older than me. We grew up like she was my older sister. But like
Right.
I remember and I remember this like it was yesterday. She hit 25 and I was just like, "Damn, you so old. You a whole quarter of a century. Can you imagine a whole
Right.
quarter of a century?" Even not to my mom when she turned 35. I was like, man, that's so far away. You so old. Like, there's some days I don't even remember that I'm an adult. Like, it was just yesterday I was in high school. So I don't know.
Let me tell you
I wonder
something.
if they felt the way we felt now when they were our age. I don't know.
Probably, probably. Because listen,
Possibly.
if you ask me, I'm still 25, technically. I don't know where anybody got this 40 number from. I am 25 years old. Okay. I just graduated college and I'm just out here trying to find my way in the world. Me being an adult is the most absurd thing that I could even comprehend in my big age. Okay. So I
Right.
get it. But let's
Right.
stop trying to argue with these babies about who looks older and who looks younger.
Right.
Because some of y'all look your age, some of
Yeah.
y'all don't. And it goes
Yeah.
the same way with Gen Z. We
Right.
can't, but the one rule and the one thing that will remain is that black don't crack either way. So we're all good.
Listen.
We're
Listen.
all
Look at
good.
Angela
So like
Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett.
she's a whole
Let's just
vampire.
let's just say
She's
that.
a whole
But
vampire.
before we move on from this subject, before we move
Mhm.
on, you told me something and now I'm ruined forever.
What did I tell you?
You told me Jordan D. Stallion put his picture next to Jeffrey Wright.
Oh yeah.
Now I
No,
can't unsee
it
it. Now
wasn't
I can't
him.
unsee it.
Somebody did that on Twitter talking about it. They had the picture of Jeffrey Wright. And for a minute there, I said, and
I
I can't
can't
unsee it.
unsee it. I can't
I
unsee it.
can't. That when I say that is the funniest thing I had seen in a while with that whole
Oh,
situation,
mhm.
I have never laughed so hard in my entire life.
So funny.
Um, so Fire Festival,
Oh god. What? We're here again. We are here
because
again.
Billy McFarland is on cocaine, but it's also the greatest example that mediocre white men will always succeed in America because he's really out here scamming people again and they are falling for it. And they are falling for it in a way that I'm just like, y'all are bugging. And the only
Yeah.
reason I brought this up was because TikTok does not like me. And the reason I say they don't like me is because they put the most ridiculous things on my timeline. And Billy McFarland was one of the things that they put on my timeline, yelling at me about if you don't have $1 million to buy a ticket, then
I
this is not
saw
for you.
that. I did
To
see
which
that.
I say, even if I had $1 million, Billy McFarland, it wasn't for me anyway because I'm not giving it to you. So
Yo,
Fire Festival's taking place again sometime at the end of the year. They have not released a date, even though they're pre-selling tickets in the Caribbean. What part of the Caribbean? Which
we don't
Caribbean?
know.
Nobody knows. Just
We
in the
don't know.
Caribbean, just in the middle of
Mhm.
the ocean somewhere.
Mhm. Mhm.
The ticket prices for this Fire Festival is absolutely ridiculous. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's Fire Miami, Florida Keys weekend, which is $3,500.
Mm.
And literally the description says Fire does dope shit and we're doing it again with the weekend in the Florida Keys. Meet in Miami, take small planes to the Keys. Diving, jumping, flying are some of the activities listed for $3,500 from America
From America.
for a weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have
I mean,
questions.
it's it's not for me,
Then,
but it's for
no,
someone. It's for
no.
someone.
So the ticket sales basically go for general admission 2,500, VIP is 5,000,
Mm.
artist pass is 50,000. Okay. Mind
Yo.
you, mind you, there's nothing
Yo.
listed as to what you get for these price points. Like it doesn't say VIP comes with. It literally just
Right.
says like I clicked the more button thinking I was going to
Yeah.
get like more information and there was nothing there. Okay? Now, the best one is there's the Prometheus
Mhm.
highest access, which is
Oh, yeah.
1.2 million.
Mm.
Okay. They say on the site, providing a comprehensive experience that immerses you in the elements of fire, earth, sky, and sea. Unveil the legacy of Prometheus. Named after the god of fire, this path opens and literally builds doors to an island escape that transcends the confines and dates of Fire
Mhm.
2.
Mhm.
So if you don't know who Prometheus is, Prometheus was a Greek god, right?
Right.
And he was known for basically stealing fire from the gods and giving them to humans and then getting banished. Okay.
Mm.
But In the romantic era, he's basically embodies the lone genius whose efforts to improve human existence could only result in tragedy.
Mhm.
Okay, that's Billy McFarland. This about
Sounds
to be.
sounds good. Sounds good.
He's already done a couple of pre things for them where he's had people do weightless flying in upstate New York. His math is already shoddy because he got on TikTok or Instagram or one of them social platforms and was like, after I posted this video, we've sold 73 out of 100 tickets and made $15.5 million. I went and did the math on all of the ticket prices that are available and a combination of said prices that
Right,
are
right,
available. And at
right,
no point does it equal to 15.5 million
right,
if he sold 73 tickets of anything. There's no combination in which that would happen.
right. Because even if okay, you said the top ticket was a million what?
1.2 million. 1.2
1.2
million.
million.
So if you sold 73 of those out of the 100, he didn't specify. See,
Right.
all of his tickets come in increments of 100. So
Yeah.
based on what he's saying, he sold 73 tickets out of one of the elements that he's selling, like one of the
Right.
tiers that he's selling. At
Right,
no
right,
point do 73 tickets in either of those tiers equals
right,
15.5 million.
right, right, right.
So
Yeah.
he's about to scam y'all again.
Yes, definitely. I don't I don't know. He said that he sold out 100 pre-sale tickets, and that was the first batch of the pre-sale tickets or something like that. Like, how many people are like? Do we know how many people are supposed to be going to this festival in the random
Ryan,
Caribbean on a random date?
you answered the question. We don't know nothing. We don't know when it's happening. We don't know where it's happening. We don't know if it's happening. He hasn't released artists. It's basically
Mm,
him and his friends taking these people's money and making it seem as though they are having some sort of Fire Festival 2 excursion build up for something that's supposed to take place at the end of 2024 at some point.
yeah,
Y'all gonna get
that's-
scammed.
yeah, definitely. Can't wait to see the second document or the
I
third one at this point, right?
I
Because it
need
was
to
two.
know if my man, what's that man name, is gonna do something strange for some water. That
He's definitely gonna do it. He's definitely gonna do it
if
this
he's
time.
still
You gotta go
involved, he
through.
just
You gotta go through
if
with it.
he yeah, if at this point, if you allowed yourself to get suckered into this again, you gotta go through with it, my
I see
boy.
what you did there.
You
See what you did
yeah.
there.
Sometimes
You
I'm
didn't know.
smart.
You didn't even know.
I didn't, but until I said it and then you said it. So Dave Chappelle has some thoughts on Cat Williams. Did you
Oh
see
my
that?
gosh. I did. I did. I definitely did. This is again Virgo on Virgo violence. I'm not here for it. I will not stand for it. I just don't understand what we're doing in these streets. Like, Cat, if y'all don't understand, y'all mad that this man has the power that he has at this point. You can literally spin a fidget spinner and title it Cat Williams and put it on YouTube and it's going to get massive views. I'm just saying,
Easy.
like,
Easy.
just admit that you guys are upset that this man is gaining all this attention off of being who he is, and let's move on.
So he was interviewed for, I don't know what he was interviewed for because I don't really care for Dave Chappelle, but what he said was, what part of the game is this? He only ethered niggas. He didn't say anything about any of these white boys. None of these white boys function like that. Was doing a set, excuse me.
Yeah,
Cat
it
is one
was
of the
definitely
best
during the set.
painters in the game. So why are you drawing ugly pictures of us? Stop. Hurt people. But I am a hurt person that never hurt people. And he does it all the time. Fuck this one and fuck that one and fuck this one. But nigga, I didn't hear anything that you did wrong. He didn't do nothing wrong. Cat didn't do nothing wrong. Cat was talking about shit that niggas did to other niggas, but not about anything that niggas did to him. Chappelle went on to say then that if he told his story, it would break your heart and that he lost everything and never told on anyone. He also went on to say that he does fuck with Cat Williams hard, but question why Williams will call out his peers when all of us are trying to be in a better situation.
I don't know. I watched a lot of the footage that's floating around, and it was definitely during a set. He definitely looked drunk as hell. And I don't know if he was smoking a cigarette or weed or whatever. So he was either drunk and high or just drunk. But D. Ray Davis was also in the back at this same set. They got into it. There was a lot going on. It was very uncomfortable to watch because it's like you definitely came to see a comedy set and it turned out to be vitriol up against Cat Williams, which, Cat Williams wins again because it's just like He's the best part of a set that he wasn't even in attendance for. This is crazy.
When I tell you I could care less about Dave Chappelle's thoughts on Katt Williams, and the reason I say that is because everything that he accused Katt Williams of doing,
Mm,
he does to marginalized communities like the transgender community. So
I mean,
I give Katt Williams grace because Katt Williams is punching up with his jokes as he's actually going after his peers, while Dave Chappelle punches down and goes after a community that cannot defend themselves
mm,
against somebody like him with a much
mm,
larger platform.
mhm.
So, sir,
I
it's just
listen,
funny that you
listen.
recognize how words mean things and how you paint certain pictures or have an effect on people when they're your peers, but you don't, when people tell you you
Right,
do that to marginalized communities, you tell us
right.
it's just jokes and this is what you do. Hmm.
Wow. People are saying that he's pissed because Katt's interview came out the same day that his stand-up special came out, and his stand-up special didn't get quite the same amount of attention like the interview did. And D Ray
Because
was
we're
this was D
That's what
Ray's
D-Ray
like
said.
whole thing. He was just like, yo, he was like, you dropped an album, Cat dropped a mixtape, and he got one. Yo, I was just like,
See,
oh
now
my
I'm gonna have to
gosh.
go watch this just for the D-Ray
Woo!
section. And D-Ray's not even funny to me. Like D-Ray don't even
Yo,
make me laugh. But this
yo,
is the thing: is if that happens, right? I mean, and obviously it did because I didn't even know he had a new special come out. But also, maybe people are tired of hearing you tell the same jokes about the same community of people that don't affect them in their day-to-day life every day. He said hurt people hurt people. So I want to know what trans women hurt Dave Chappelle because he's had a chip on his shoulder for the trans
right.
community for quite some time. And in my mind, that lets me know that someone within the trans community hurt you in some way. And we need to know who. Because at this point, sir, let it go. It's the same joke.
Like, I would have much rather him just work on a set and let this pass, just like, mostly everybody else. But, it's now the end of January and we're still talking about this. So I assume that we'll be talking about this forever at this point because it's just not going anywhere. And you're too big of a comedian for this to be a thing. Like, you should
Exactly.
be able to pull a crowd and talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about without it
No problem.
without it being this. And D Ray definitely brought the mood of the stand up special down because he was speaking, in my opinion, truth,
Right.
but it wasn't meant to be that way. And Dion Cole was trying to like tamper down all the
Oh,
emotions and all of that. It was crazy. And, D Ray, Pisces, I already told
okay.
y'all if I wasn't a
Yeah.
Virgo, I'd be a Pisces. So this was a whole mess. This was a whole mess that night.
I we're gonna be talking about Cat Williams and his thoughts, his opinions on his peers for the next 17 years because I don't know why y'all are so bothered. On top of that, none of the people that Cat Williams has spoken about have been adversely affected in any way. If anything, it's either made them slightly more popular because people have now
That's
started
right.
looking into them, or just nothing's happened. They're still going to be
Right.
millionaires. They're all going to
Right.
continue to be multimillionaires in
Right.
much better positions than most of the people who are going to write think pieces, including ourselves who are talking about this right now.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
moving on.
Okay.
So what do we want to do? Do we want to do Chris Stokes? Do we want to do Brick Lady?
Oh my gosh. Let's go Brick Lady because Chris Stokes
Okay,
is
we can save that.
e
Yeah, we can
e.
save that. So apparently, the woman who claimed she was hit with a brick by a man was charged with faking the assault to raise money for GoFundMe, which really, when those titles came out, it's a little bit clickbaity. So she didn't get hit with a brick; she got hit with a bottle.
That's
And
yeah. This is what we were told after
yeah,
the fact. After the
yeah,
fact.
after the fact. So she didn't lie per se; she just embellished, which I guess it's still wrong, but like,
I'm trying to understand though, Jade. You saw the pictures. You saw what her face looked like. I don't know what kind of water bottle. This was a glass water bottle. Like, what kind of water bottle did this to her face?
who knows? First of all, I saw the man who did it, and I, it got to be more to this story because
Loads.
he literally looks like he's built like me. And Lord knows I can't throw to save my life. I'm not hurting a fly. Okay. So I don't know if this was a water bottle filled with rocks and pennies. I don't know what was going on,
Right.
but she used that story to raise $40,000 on
42.
GoFundMe. $42,000, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
on GoFundMe. And so now she's basically being talked about because detectives are like, that's not what happened. However, it is what happened. She just didn't get hit with a brick. She did get hit in the face with something. Did she need
Right.
$40,000? I don't know. We're in this weird phase where every time something happens, people run to GoFundMe, and it's drives me crazy personally. But
So I did a little bit of looking into this. People got opinions on the internet about this. So
Oh my
apparently
God.
they're saying that this is not the first time. She's definitely been scamming for a long time, and this is like the third illegitimate GoFundMe that she's put up. The cops are stating that she hit him first and then he hit her back. And so it was like, what do they call it? Mutual combat or some crazy Texas law. I really don't know what occurred at this situation. Definitely something happened to her face. Somehow it happened and she was hit, and I don't condone hitting women at all, period. So we're not going to do that. But she turned herself in. She's out on $10,000 bond, and people talking about how she can open up a new GoFundMe for that too, and
And
y'all
she
gonna give her the
probably
money
is.
for that. I'm like, oh my god,
But here's the
crazy.
thing. A
Yeah,
lot of the stuff that the police are saying about her, like she hit him first, so forth and so on, they're literally getting from social media people who use the fact that at one point she was like, you know how everybody's trying to be like these comedian actors who go out on the street and like start fake arguments with people and like slap them and everyone's in on the joke to make it seem like something's happened.
right,
That's
right, right.
really what the police is using to say that she hit him. He even said she didn't hit him. Like he said she didn't give him a number and it became an argument and she was all up in his face and he threw the bottle at her.
Interesting. I didn't see
So
that.
yeah, because nobody would have known who he was, but he got upset at the fact that she was getting clout on the internet and decided to reveal himself in a clubhouse room as the man who, and at first, originally, he also said he hit her with a brick. So there's also that. And
What?
now the story
Oh
is
my
eventually
goodness.
changed. So I say all that to say it is very scary to be a woman. And I don't think
Yeah.
people realize how scary it is to be a woman because saying no or telling somebody that you're not interested could very well end up with you losing your life at the hands of a complete stranger. Do I
Wow.
think what she did was right in terms of embellishing the story if it was just a plastic water bottle and not a brick? No. But there's definitely more to the story because whatever hit her in the face hit her hard because there's no way a plastic water bottle would have done that type of damage to her face.
This is what I'm trying to understand. When it comes down to it, it's still believe black women and believe the victims and all of
Yeah.
that. However, everybody don't also have the best intentions, so we got to be
Is she a
able to
scammer?
who knows.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is you still got to believe, but you also got to be willing to say you were wrong when you find out that these people are scamming, and that's their karma. That has nothing to do with you, and it is what it is. Let whatever happens to them happen to them.
Yeah, nah. I'm not getting myself involved in her scamming, but like you said, it is believe black women, believe victims. And so she did get hit. He admitted that he hit her. So, I mean,
Mm.
that's all I need to know. Lock him up. Okay. Again, I haven't Am I the Asshole? And this is a good one because it lines up with what we talked about last week. And so I think you'll enjoy this one. And it's not a messy, well, it's kind of messy, but not like messy, messy. Okay.
Okay.
I'm a 30-year-old asexual woman who is currently 33 weeks pregnant with twin girls that I conceived through IVF. I have always
Mm.
wanted children, but never really considered them on the cards for me due to my sexuality. But now I am in a position where I felt stable enough to bring a child into the world on my own, so I decided to go through IVF. My best friend since high school, 31 male, found out about my plan and how I was looking into finding a donor so it wouldn't be anonymous and I could vet medical history, etc., and offered to be the sperm donor as at least I'd know his medical history and any risk there was attached. I agreed but made it very clear that he wouldn't have a parental role in the child's life. At most, he'd be an honorary uncle due to our friendship. He was
Right.
happy to agree to this, and it never once occurred to me that he would offer this without running this by his wife, 31 female first.
Oh God.
As some of you will likely be worried, I used a HFEA clinic, which is a legally licensed clinic, which means due to the paperwork signed when I underwent IVF, he has no legal right or obligations towards the babies. The IVF was a success, as evident by my pregnant state, a little too successful perhaps as its twins. I recently took my friend and his wife out to dinner to thank them for doing this for me and celebrate being in the third trimester, but his wife was confused when I explained the reason for the dinner and then angry, demanding to know why we kept this from her. I was just as shocked and asked my
What
friend
the
if he
what?
hadn't told his wife. He tried to explain to both of us he hadn't thought it mattered since he had no rights to them at all. His wife got even
Mm.
angrier at that part, stating she isn't comfortable with their son, six male, having siblings that aren't really his siblings, and she wants that part changed so that her husband has a legal say over the girls. I was in shock over this, but said I wouldn't be doing that as I want to raise them alone. The three of us got into a huge argument, and his wife
Ooh.
demanded to why wouldn't tell her that her husband had offered this in the first place. I feel very guilty for not checking with his wife, but it honestly never occurred to me that he wouldn't have done that first. So I thought if he was offering, she was she had to have already given the okay. Am I the asshole in this? I don't know what to do.
What the hell? Today. Oh my god. Leave it to you to find a
Shout out to
scenario.
Ash. Actually, that came from Ash. Ash sent that to
Okay.
me in the DMs.
Wow. Shout out to Ash. Oh my god. This is like somebody's worst nightmare. Cuz what kind of person doesn't tell their wife that they're giving their sperm to somebody?
Yeah, I don't think she's the asshole in this at all because even though she probably should have checked with the wife, it wasn't her
Right.
responsibility because she's not married to the wife. And that's a decision that you would feel like a husband would make to his, you know what I mean? Like,
I feel like she has some sort of responsibility, especially if this is her friend and she knows that this guy has a wife. I would
but
have
if you
I would
trust
have
your
I
friend
would have
in
definitely
totality,
spoken. There's no way, Jade, because I have friends that are married, and it's just certain things that are not even close to being this important that you would run past the couple, not past one person or
right.
the other person, but you would run past the couple. So both people are there and they understand what's going on at the same time, you know? So I don't know. I don't know. You know, when people are telling you a story, they tell you this part of the story that makes them seem
That's true.
as innocent as possible. But I don't feel like we know the full story here. I blame both of them. I blame him and her.
Also, thinking about it though, I'm gonna assume that this is her best friend. They've been around each other and the wife multiple times within this pregnancy. Did no one ask questions before the third trimester? Like, if my husband's best
Come
friend
on.
is pregnant around me, and I know that she's asexual and she's not seriously dating anyone at the
How'd you
moment or
do
anything
it,
like
sis?
that,
How'd you do
yeah,
it?
like I have questions that I'm asking. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, Samira's pregnant. Congratulations, girl. I have questions because last I checked, you don't even like people like that. So how this happened? You know what I mean? Like, where they do that
You
at?
have no
Um,
urges. You don't have a partner. Well, I don't know. Do asexual people
yeah,
might
you can.
have partners? They're
You
just
just
not
not.
interested in sex.
Yeah, they're just
I think
like
that's what that
it
means.
is. Yeah, it's kind of like it is what it is. At
Wow.
one point, you thought I was
Wow.
asexual. Do you remember that when you thought I was asexual? Just because I don't have a problem with intimacy. I just don't like
This is
people.
not the this is this
Anyway,
is not the
this is not the
episode for
episode for
this.
that.
We
It's
going
not.
we could do a
But
whole we could do an
we're
episode,
not.
a four
We're
parter
not.
that we can
We're
do
not.
to be continued. All of that we could do that. We could do that.
But I do think that you're right, though. There are more questions than answers that I have for this. I think I'm going to amend my answer to I don't know who's the asshole because I feel like, again,
Yeah.
questions should have been asked if old girl came up around
Yeah.
pregnant before the third trimester. Like, also,
This
when she's
again,
inviting you to
Jay.
dinner, you need to ask her what the dinner's for.
Why are we going to dinner? Why are we going to dinner?
Like,
And why are you paying?
as
Why are you
much as
inviting
much
us?
as
What's
it,
going
right, like
on?
as much as I love like you and your wife, like if y'all invited me to dinner, I'm like, well, what are we celebrating? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not just like, oh, is this just a friends night out?
I mean,
Cool.
even if
Like,
it is just a friends thing and we just want to hang out, it's just like, so why are we
so
doing this?
why
And so we
right,
would, and
like
then we would answer, hey, we just want to hang out. We
that's
just want to
it.
go to
You know what I
dinner.
mean? Like
That's an
you just
answer.
showed
That's
up,
an answer.
like you just show up and you're like, well, how did you get pregnant? And why did I not? So like I feel like everybody in this is either a little dizzy or like
Right. This is why today I just feel like people make this stuff up for people like me and you to talk about random stuff like this on
I
YouTube.
can't
That's what it is. Cause I this doesn't make
Jasmine
any sense. This don't
Jasmine
make
has stated
sense.
clearly that she wants to be you when she grows up because she don't understand how you don't understand that this is how people are living.
I don't have
I've
friends like
sent you
this. I don't have
we
friends
don't
like
live
this.
like this, but I have seen too much evidence on social media to know that there are people who are living these lives. Okay, I just saw something the other day
Oh,
where a pregnant girl interrupted a pastor's whole service and tried to fight the wife and had to be removed. Okay, I sent it to you. People are out here living like this, Ryan.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
they're out
Oh
here.
my oh my
Okay,
goodness.
I said, all right.
It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Oh man. Good luck, people, if this is a real thing. This is real bad. This is real bad. Real bad.
I
Real,
mean,
real
I
bad.
guess y'all don't have to worry about them kids. I feel like the best friend is making it very easy for them because if nothing happened, if he's not financially responsible for them, then there's no responsibility for him. And I'm sure she has godparents and other situations set up already. So if this was an
The
anonymous
children
donor, just treat it like that.
the children have siblings here.
They got a brother.
Didn't you say she was I thought it was twins, but whatever.
She has twins and they would have an older brother.
Yeah, that older brother would have siblings coming that this child didn't even have an opportunity to be a part of these children's lives.
I
Like,
mean, this
anyway,
is
go
gonna
ahead.
sound so wild for a woman to say, but that shit happens literally every day.
All the
There's so
time,
many
all the
men
time,
out
all the time,
here
all the time.
who have babies
Okay,
and then
you're right.
leave.
You're
Like,
right
it
about
ain't
that.
nothing. That ain't nothing, dude. That baby will be okay. That 6-year-old will be a-okay.
I
Like,
mean, again, when it comes down to it, if they have no rights or whatever, this lady could literally pick up and move and disappear,
and that's
whatever.
why they chose
And
that, I think, because they're just friends. You know what I mean?
okay,
But
now, again, like I said last week, these children could somehow, by divine intervention or whatever we want to call it, coincidence or anything, somehow meet this sibling in the future and not know that they're their sibling. And then any sort of interaction can happen between these people. It's
I don't
crazy.
I mean, unless they have like a one night stand hookup, okay, that could possibly happen. But the likelihood of them falling in love and be like, Mom, I met a great kid named Charles. And then the mama's like, my best friend has a son named Charles. What's his dad's name or whatever? What's his mama name? And then they meet each other and it's like, oh no, y'all can't no, can't
Oh
happen.
man. Oh man.
But
This is screaming screenplay that I will write.
listen,
I will write this. I will
go
write it.
ahead.
Trust,
We
trust,
need all the
trust
money.
me.
We just talked about how bills is billing and inflating is inflating. Write that screenplay, Ryan. Write that
Oh my
screenplay.
oh my god.
So
How did I hurt myself in Paris?
oh God. I fell.
Damn it. Oh gosh. All right.
I love when my brain be braining.
What do you call a cheap circumcision?
I want to say a mini stroke, but I know that ain't got nothing to do with it.
A ripoff. All right. Y'all was mad at my Cinderella joke last week. It's okay. It's okay. What you got?
Somebody told me you was out of pocket. Natalie said he was out of pocket. Since we're on this, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna continue that vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about the king sperm that was good at math?
The king sperm?
That was good at math.
He liked multiplication?
Mm-mm.
What's that?
His name was Circumference.
All right. Okay. All right. What does burnt pizza and a pregnant woman have in common?
Oh God. It's gonna have to do something with pull out.
Someone forgot to pull it out on time.
I knew it. I knew it.
You're too close to the answers here. This is not good.
I feel like you told this one, but I'm
Okay.
gonna use it now.
Okay.
What do you call a man with no shins?
Damn, I feel like I definitely told this joke before. What do you call a man with no shins?
Tony.
Did so good. So
Whew.
good. So good. So good. So
Oh
good.
God.
All right. Virgo Season Show at gmail.com is the email address. Send us emails. Let us know what you're loving about the show. Let us know about any sort of fun things, topics, anything that you got. Send it right there. That's where we'll think about what we'll speak about for the next week's episode.
You can also find us on social media at Virgo Season Show. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Threads, YouTube. We're there. Holla at us. We love engaging with y'all. Except when y'all tell me I look like Freddie Jackson. But whatever.
All right. Jesus, before his untimely passing, what was his workout plan?
Oh God. What?
CrossFit.
Get off my phone. Bye. Bye.
Disappointed.
Wow. Wow. Okay, little Nas X. Bye. I just.
Virgo season.